It wasn't recently until in my high school years that I started to gain this obsession with the color of my skin. The constant racist jokes about my skin tone became a regular. Wow, you are so dark. I'm surprised you found a marker dark enough to show up on your skin. I tried and block it out, but they manifested into an inner voice making me doubt and question myself. Am I really that dark? It stayed with me. So whenever someone gives me a compliment, oh, you're really pretty, this voice fills in the rest of the sentence with, for a dark-skinned girl. Because dark-skinned girls are never considered pretty, and they are never the girls you see on the cover of magazines or in movies. These words impact the way I see myself and others around me, and it makes me question my intentions. Even though I put on makeup for fun and because I like the way it makes me look, this voice says no. You're doing this because you're trying to reach a beauty standard that you'll never fully be able to obtain. So I asked myself, do I put on copious amounts of sunscreen because I'm trying to protect my skin from skin cancer, or because I don't want to get darker? In a world of systemic racism, there is more than just black and white. Even in the African American community and really any racial or ethnic group, there is still discrimination. Colorism is defined by Webster's dictionary as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a darker skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. To get a better understanding of this definition, I took the time to learn about its shameful history. The roots of the issue manifested from slavery. When slaves were raped by their white masters, the women usually birthed children with a lighter skin tone. They were then seen as a pure form of beauty and put on a higher pedestal. Slave owners then created the derogatory term house Negro to refer to those who were of a light enough complexion and got to work in the house. They were seen as smarter, prettier, and even more desirable than those with a darker skin tone, even though they were still subjugated. Now that we know a glimpse of where colorism originates, let's talk about today. Now, colorism has continued inside and outside of the African American community, showing that the colorist ideologies stemming from slavery were internalized through history. People wonder how an already marginalized group can further divide themselves and perpetuate racial contempt and oppression against their own people when they know how crippling discrimination based on race, gender, class, skin tone, or hair texture even are. Colorism is a symptom. It's an offshoot of white supremacy. We live in a world where marginalized people boost their self-esteem at the expense of others within their own marginalized groups. There are fraternities, sororities, and social elite groups that only allow blacks that are able to display more angle features. They would go through a series of tests to make sure you fit the bill. The most common one was the brown paper bag test. If you appear lighter than a brown paper bag, you're in. But if you appear darker, you're out. Another well-known test is the blue vein test. The rules are very simple. Your skin must be light enough to see the veins in your skin. Now, even though these tests still aren't in practice today, their effects are still very present. A recent study shows that 40% of women with a darker skin tone don't see themselves as attractive compared to those with a lighter skin tone. And it certainly doesn't help that the media is constantly photoshopping and retouching the color of actresses and models on the cover of magazines, as we see here, here, and here. See, colorism is not just an issue in the US. Colorism is present in every culture all around the world. The best example of this is the skin bleaching cream industry. The industry itself is worth $23 billion. In Nigeria alone, 77% of women reported using these dangerous products to appear lighter. In 2012, India used 258 tons of skin lightening cream. Now, even though these products contain harmful carcinogens that are scientifically known to leave negative physical side effects, These men and women all around the world would rather set fire to their own skin to finally be considered desirable or beautiful rather than seeing their own beauty. I remember the first time I heard jokes about my skin tone. I remember the tears running down my face and ugly thoughts filling my mind. I remember staring in the mirror for hours at a time looking at how dark I was but wishing I was lighter. I remember convincing myself that I was in fact ugly and that I would never be as desirable or as beautiful as those with a lighter skin tone. I remember telling myself that this is your norm, that you are the dark-skinned girl. Now, I've come a long way from then and I'm finally starting to accept myself, but yeah, I still do get jokes and I still do get comments about my skin tone because I can't remove ignorance from people even though I desperately want to. It pains me to know that there are little children out there who have had all of their confidence ripped from them before entering adulthood because of what society says. So my question is, how do we solve this? Sadly, I don't have a definitive answer, but I do have an idea. In our communities, families, and friend groups, we should promote the idea that beauty is found in all shades. We should visibly empower others and openly accept who we are. We should live with the knowledge that beauty is not determined by the color of your skin. So the solution will be for our communities to not blindly accept the standards of beauty that seek to place our society in a hierarchical system on the basis of color. Thank you.